Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Tuesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk all things Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about, as today's report includes Russell Wilson is starting this Sunday against the Jets. Devonte Adams is coming to Pittsburgh, but not as a Steeler. The Penguins take down the Habs in Montreal, and more. As always, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into the first news story of the day. Russell Wilson is starting this Sunday against the Jets. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a bombshell was dropped by Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin during his Tuesday press conference, as he says quarterback Russell Wilson is in consideration to start against the New York Jets this Sunday night. Tomlin said that Wilson proved that he is healthy throughout last week's practices, and according to NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero, Wilson will be getting first-team reps in practice this week. The veteran Wilson was the pole position starter in training camp before his calf injury, and he has remained QB1 on the Steelers' depth chart throughout the season. In terms of getting Wilson ready to play, this is what Tomlin said. You knock it off to a degree just getting the in-helmet perspective on the work. There's one thing to sit in meetings and digest football and be a full participant like he's been, or to be a guy behind the offensive group digesting it from that perspective. But the in-helmet perspective and the reactionary see to do and some of those things, that's what I'm talking about. But there's also a totality of his resume as well that makes you more comfortable than guys with shorter resumes in that regard in terms of the ability to play ball on the limited amount of exposure. I had that mentality about guys across positions, and we've had that discussion before. Veteran players, there's just comfort that comes with experience in some of those really sometimes uncomfortable discussions. This decision to most likely start Russ over current starter Justin Fields comes after the Steelers defeated the Raiders on Sunday 32-13. Two of the scores for the Steelers offense coming from Fields' legs. This is what Tomlin had to say about Fields after saying Russ is in consideration to start. Justin has been really good, and we've been really good at times, but not to be confused with great. This is a competitive league, man. We're trying to position ourselves to be that team. We got a player with talent who hadn't had an opportunity to play, so we're going to potentially explore those things. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what Justin has done or has not done. Justin has been an asset to us, man. Last week, for example. Man, his ability to use his legs by design and by ad-lib was a significant component of that game. He rushed for 50-plus yards and 2 touchdowns, and so we're appreciative of that. We're appreciative of how he's taken care of the ball, but we're just looking at all the people at our disposal the same way we do at any position. Ouch. It sounded like Coach T was trying to let down Fields as easy as possible, but he basically said that Justin isn't good enough. I can't say I'm super shocked by this move, but I do have questions. Tomlin had to pick between his two favorite attributes in a quarterback. He either had to choose the veteran with experience and dependability, or the youth with uber athleticism and mobility. He even mentioned that Wilson cannot do the things that Fields can do with his legs, and that Fields' running ability is, quote, an X factor. Fields wasn't lighting the world on fire, but he was doing pretty good this season. JF2 helped lead the Steelers to a 4-2 record, tied for first place in the AFC, has 1,338 total yards, and has 10 total touchdowns to only 1 interception. Tomlin added that if Russ starts, there is a chance that we see both quarterbacks play against the Jets. There were rumblings months ago that there could be special packages for Fields, but what those packages are is a completely different story. Tomlin said he will decide on a starter later this week, but I think we all know that Russ is going to be the one against the Jets. The Steelers better win against the Jets, and Russ better look good, or else the backlash will be insane. Do you guys think this is the right move to start Wilson over Fields? What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Let me know in the comments below. More news and notes from Tomlin's press conference. Aside from the big talking point of the potential quarterback switch, here are some other notes from Tomlin's presser. Starting off with injuries, Coach T said he is optimistic that outside linebacker Alex Highsmith will return this Sunday night against the Jets, which will be a huge addition to the defense. However, Highsmith's fellow outside linebacker in Nick Herbig will be out again this week. Another player already being ruled out this week is center Zach Frazier, who suffered an ankle injury against the Raiders after defensive end Tyree Wilson landed on the back of his leg. NFL insider for Fox Sports Jordan Schultz reported yesterday that Frazier's injury is considered week to week, and thankfully there is no structural damage to his ankle. With this, Ryan McCullum is the new starting center for the Steelers until further notice, and he will get a test right away against Quinnen Williams of the Jets. Other players who are working their way back from injuries but will be questionable at the end of this week include running back Cordarrelle Patterson, tight end Michael Pruitt, and safety Damontae Kazee. Rookie wide receiver Roman Wilson only played 5 total offensive snaps against the Raiders, and Tomlin said that he will need to keep working and improve in all areas to get more snaps as the weeks go on and as he gets more experience. Finally, Tomlin said that he is excited to go up against Aaron Rodgers in the various challenges that the Jets possess, and they just got a lot more challenging, but more on that in the next segment. This Sunday night's game has a whole lot going on with both teams, and I think it will be one of the most highly watched games this season across the NFL. Devonte Adams is coming to Pittsburgh, but not as a Steeler. I think in one of last week's episodes of the Steel City Sports Report, I said if Raiders wide receiver Devonte Adams was going to get traded anywhere, he better be coming through Pittsburgh International Airport. Well, technically, I was right, but Adams will not be coming through Pittsburgh International as a member of the Steelers, but as a member of the New York Jets. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the hopes of the 3-time All-Pro becoming a Steeler are now dead as the New York Jets traded for Devonte Adams on Tuesday morning. This move comes after the Jets lost to the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football by a score of 23-20, but Adams now gets to reunite with his old quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. New York is sending a conditional third-round pick back to the Raiders, and the Jets will also be taking on Adams' entire $44 million per year contract, though he has no guarantees next year. In all honesty, there was no way that the Steelers were making this trade. Not in terms of the compensation going back to the Raiders, but in terms of taking on that much money for what would have been a rental. Once again, according to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, he says that the Jets have an understanding that Adams, who was dealing with a hamstring injury, will be healthy and good to play against the Steelers this Sunday night. However, the Steelers are at least somewhat prepared for this. In his Tuesday press conference, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin said, "We were getting ready for Devonte Adams last week, and we're getting ready for Devonte Adams this week." The Steelers and general manager Omar Khan are now 0-2 in trading for big-name wide receivers this year, after not being able to land Brandon Ayuk or Devonte Adams. With 21 days until the trade deadline, time is getting short to make much-needed improvements to the wide receiver room. With Adams now off the table, here are some other names that are perceived to be on the trading block. Before recording this, I was going to say that Cleveland Browns wide receiver Amari Cooper should be at the top of the Steelers list, but breaking news just came down that he is being traded to the Buffalo Bills for a third-round pick. Though Adams went to the Jets, the Steelers could strike a deal for a wide receiver with this Sunday's opponent. Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports has been everywhere today as he reports the Jets are planning to make wide receiver Mike Williams available for trade. Williams would be a solid wide receiver too, and has been on the Steelers' radar for a while now, as he was scheduled to meet with Pittsburgh about possibly signing with the Black and Gold this past offseason, but he visited with the Jets first and didn't make it out of New York. Some other receivers that are rumored to either be on the move or could be on the move that I find unlikely to land in Pittsburgh include DK Metcalf of the Seahawks, Cortland Sutton of the Broncos, and T. Higgins of the Bengals. At this point, I don't really care who it is. Everyone I just listed here, and many more, would be 100 times better than me watching Van Jefferson or Calvin Austin run onto the field as the Steelers' number 2 wide receiver. Time is ticking, Omar. Please get something done. Pirates player named a finalist for a Gold Glove Award. It's rare that we get Pittsburgh Pirates news this time of year, but a player for the Bucks has just been named a finalist for a Gold Glove. Congratulations to Jared Triolo for being named a finalist for the utility position Rawlings Gold Glove Award. Many can be angry that Triolo was almost an everyday player this past season for the Bucks, but one thing you cannot criticize him for is his fielding. Whether it was playing all 4 spots in the infield or making that unforgettable diving catch in right field against the Diamondbacks, Tree was one of the Pirates' best defenders in 2024. If Triolo can win the award, that will make it back-to-back years that a Pirates player wins a Gold Glove, following Ke'Bryan Hayes, who won a Gold Glove for third base in 2023. Congratulations, Jared. Now bring home that award. And finally, the Penguins take down the Habs in Montreal. Last night, the Pittsburgh Penguins got back in the win column, defeating the Montreal Canadiens 6-3. Here are some notes from Monday night's victory over the Habs. Forward Jesse Puljujärvi was inserted back into the Pens lineup in place of forward Rutger McGroarty, and the line of him, Lars Eller, and Drew O'Connor was buzzing. Puljujärvi was causing mayhem wherever he skated, and Eller finished the night with 2 beautiful goals. Evgeny Malkin stayed hot as he had another 3-point performance with an empty net goal and 2 assists. Gino now has 7 points in 4 games, and he is tied with the New York Rangers' Artemi Panarin and the Vegas Golden Knights' Jack Eichel for league leader in points. The last note from Monday night's victory is that goaltender Tristan Jarry did look shaky throughout the first half of the game and let the Canadiens take a 3-2 lead after the Pens went up 2-0, but he did settle in a bit as the Pens came back with 4 unanswered goals. Jarry's performance in Montreal was better than that in the season opener, but he will still need to show more as he is in a fan-perceived battle with Joel Blomqvist for backup goaltender once Alex Nedeljkovic returns. And it sounds like Ned may not be out much longer. The Penguins are now returning home as they take on the Buffalo Sabres Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on TNT. There will be lots of eyes on that game as Evgeny Malkin is 1 goal away from 500 career goals, and Sidney Crosby is 1 point away from 1,600 career points. Man, wouldn't it be something if Sid assists on Gino's 500th goal and both generational players reached their respective milestones together. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up a Tuesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report. Again, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow with some more Pittsburgh sports news.